The China Report for Monday, April 15, 2013. China growth risks in focus as first quarter data falls short. China's economic recovery unexpectedly stumbled in the first 3 months of 2013 with slowing factory output and investment spending forcing analysts to start slashing full-year forecasts despite official insistence that the outlook was favorable. The world's second biggest economy grew 7.7% in the first quarter from a year ago, slower than 7.9% hit in Q4 2012, below the Reuters consensus forecast of 8.0% and confounding expectations of a surprise uptick that emerged after surging credit and export data were published last week. China says bird flu death toll rises to 14. China reported another death and 3 new infections from a new strain of avian influenza known as H7N9 on Monday, bringing the total death toll to 14 and the number of infections to 63, the official Xinhua news agency said. A 77-year-old woman, who was earlier tested positive for the virus, died on Sunday in eastern Jiangsu province, Xinhua cited local health officials as saying. China confirmed on Saturday a 7-year-old child had been infected by the H7N9 bird flu virus in the capital Beijing, the first case outside the Yangtze River Delta region in eastern China where the new strain emerged last month. China signs free trade agreement with Iceland as it looks for foothold in the Arctic. China and Iceland signed a free trade agreement Monday, offering hope to the small North Atlantic country for its recession-battered economy and giving Beijing a leg up in its drive for expanded influence in the Arctic. The China-Iceland Free Trade Pact will lower tariffs on a range of goods and is expected to boost seafood and other exports from the remote Nordic state to the world's second-largest economy. It comes at the start of a 5-day visit to China by the Icelandic Prime Minister that highlights her country's attempts to diversify an economy that was badly mauled by the bursting of a massive financial bubble in 2008. Iceland is close to rich oil reserves and other natural resources key to continued growth of the Chinese economy in the 21st century. Details were not disclosed on the agreement. Ford looks to double market share in China. Ford sales will rise in 2013, which are called a turbocharged year because of new model offerings including the Kuga Sports utility vehicle, the EcoSport compact SUV, the Explorer large SUV, and the Mondeo midsize sedan. All of those models will be available to Chinese consumers by mid-year. In 2012, Volkswagen led automakers with a 19.5% market share followed by GM at 10%, according to LMC Automotive. Ford is planning for annual economic growth in China of 7.5% over the next 5 years. Earlier on Monday, Beijing announced that China's growth rate slowed to 7.7% in the first quarter, from 7.9% in the final quarter of 2012. The growth rate was less than the 8% expected by economists. Ford and other Western automakers are opening more dealerships, factories and service stations in China than all other nations combined. The commitment to the China market is firm despite sentiment from auto workers and contractors in the West that will be left out. Have you driven a Ford lately? That's the China Report for today. Zaijian.